but tried to email this.
Well, I don't know. We seem to be making it function, Shell. So
Yeah, it's working.
That's all I can do.
You know, when you learn after a while that even though the email is exactly the same as, you know, your best friend, if it doesn't say something, you have to be suspicious.
I'll tell you, no matter how many things I block or delete, I still get
Oh, yeah.
a lot of things that are clearly not something I want to open.
If these hackers could put their energies and creativities toward world peace, we'd be a much better off society.
I know. They put it towards something positive.
I know.
Oh,
well. Well, I've started seeds for the spring.
Oh, yeah?
Started my shallots and some green onions and some flowers.
Ooh.
Peppers in another week. You know, it's starting up.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of good to get down there, even though it's cold in the basement, to play with that stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of hard these days to think spring, but
It is. But I can get down there, and I have lights and the heat mats, and I can pretend that spring is really close. When I know darn well that, you know, the soil is probably frozen down a foot deep at least.
Yep. Well, I wouldn't be sad if we didn't have any more snow.
Yeah, I always like snow, but you know, it would just be snow and we could forget the freezing rain and the sleet and all that other yuck.
Yeah.
You know, and then I go into East Lyme and there's nothing.
Yeah. How do they do that?
Pretty amazing. Sometimes I've gone just from our house down to the roundabout and found, you know, that it looks like they had half as much snow as we did. But that doesn't happen very often. But there were a couple times where when I was working, I'd creep down the driveway, I'd get down there, get out to the back then it was Four Corners, and like, whoa, where's the snow? Yeah, no wonder they didn't cancel school, you know.
Is that funny? I wonder why you're in a spot that gets the snow. It's like we are in a way.
Yeah, we're higher elevation, and you know, it just might be the way the storm was coming or whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember coming home, the first time it ever happened, I coming home and saying to Craig, I said, can't believe it. There wasn't it. It was snow, but you know, I sometimes would say, well, why aren't they canceling school? Or why isn't there a 2-hour delay? Creep myself out.
Aren't you glad not to have to deal with that?
Yeah, yes. I still get a nice warm feeling though when there's a snow day for schools. I don't know, it's just you know, that started when I was a kid, so that's probably a feeling that's not going to leave.
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
I had an elderly neighbor in Waterford who was a teacher, a retired teacher, and even she, in her 70s and 80s, thought snow days were great.
That's cool. Well, I think Carol's trying to join us here. Ta-da.
There she is.
Yep. Well, her name is here.
Hi, Carol.
There she is. Hi, Carol. Are you okay there?
Well, a little chilly, but other than that, I'm okay.
Okay.
I put the heat up.
Got my mittens on.
Yeah, I
Because
noticed
you're in the
that.
basement.
Yeah.
Craig and the dog are in the basement. I'm up in the warm kitchen.
Oh, you banned them to the basement?
No, I think Craig just decided that it was better bring the dog down there and they can run around. She can make all kinds of noise and it won't matter.
Yeah. That's good. Good. So how is it around your house, Carol?
It's starting to rain, sleet. It's starting to be wet.
Yeah.
I just put some suet out for the bird feeder for the birds, and it was not slick, but I walked very carefully.
Yeah.
That's what's hard, I think, when you have these times where you're on the border
Yeah.
of temperatures. You don't know which way it's going to go.
Yeah.
And the older I get, the less interested I am in taking chances.
Good. Well, I completely understand. I'm very, very careful.
That's why I
So,
worry about my aunt, because her need to see her friends and be out someplace is so great that, I just wonder if she, I worry on a day like today, is she taking that chance and going out? Is she going to slip and fall on a sidewalk someplace? I don't know. Although I think Monday is drive through at McDonald's and eat in the car. Wouldn't be walking around, but she'd be driving. Oh yeah, this is a thing. This is the pandemic. This is her response to the pandemic. On Mondays, she doesn't go out to a restaurant.
the other days of the week she does.
That's right. Every other day.
Well, I'm glad she hasn't gotten sick.
She and her friend have decided they're immune.
Yeah, right.
Well, they've had all their shots, right?
They did, but I told her repeatedly, I said, you could have it and be asymptomatic.
Yeah.
Craig's sister, who has cancer, got COVID. She said, I don't go anywhere. So Craig said, well, it must be Kenny. Well, he wasn't sick. He could have been asymptomatic.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we had good news. She had good news, is that they did a CAT scan and there doesn't appear to be any cancer right now.
Oh, wonderful.
Wow.
So this is very positive.
Yeah.
They're still going to keep her on maintenance. The cancer she has is very, very aggressive, so it's very likely it will recur. But for now, there's a positive, because her blood work last month wasn't really very positive at all. But the CAT scan was good, so yay.
Yay.
Yay, indeed.
Yes.
Wow.
Because at the time she had COVID and the other sister had conjunctivitis. And now that sister is leaving tomorrow. She's moving to North Carolina. So Lindell's going to miss her a lot.
Yeah.
But she's going to be with her daughter and grandchildren. It's the grandchildren she's looking forward to.
Yeah.
Can't blame her for that.
No, can't at all. Oh, well.
Okay.
Zoom never works very well for those.
No.
Not on Zoom.
Sounds more like a couple of tin cans.
Yeah. Oh,
3
well.
rooms over.
Yeah, yeah.
So, any questions?
David, I was kind of playing with those exercises that we did, and I'm holding on to my elbow.
Yep.
Just to, and am I feeling the fascia in the elbow as I'm turning? What am I feeling? I mean, it's not the bone moving, I think. Is it muscle?
Ideally, you're feeling the fascia moving.
Because I just, as I was playing with it, I said, well, I don't remember really feeling this before, and I know we've done those exercises, but maybe I haven't. I would be grasping it like this at this point, so I could get a better feel for what was happening there, so I could feel above and below it.
Good.
And I'm thinking, oh, I wonder if that's the fascia I'm feeling.
Well, yeah, and obviously, at least ultimately, the fascia both below and above the elbow are going to move. So it makes sense that if you're feeling both above and below, that you could very well feel something happening on both sides of the elbow and through the elbow.
My goal was to see if I could feel something moving above the elbow toward the spine. That wasn't quite so successful, but it was, I don't know why. I know we've done these types of exercises before, and I've held the elbow, but I hadn't really noticed that feeling.
Well, we hadn't focused on fascia before.
And that's maybe why I was thinking about it.
Yeah. And you're really trying to feel in doing that, the movement of the energy through the arm. I mean, you're trying to feel the fascia moving, yes, but you're trying to begin to be really clearly feeling the flow of the energy in the arm, at least.
Well, I think I do. But I just started thinking about the fascia, probably something I haven't really spent a lot of time thinking about. But it's just that's why the question. As I was doing that, is that what I'm feeling? So as I played with that a few times, I just kind of ignored the energy part because I was just trying to figure out what it was I was physically feeling.
Yeah. If you haven't had a Rolfing or been Rolfed, this can be perhaps the first time you really are feeling the fascia move. I mean, a Rolfer will make you painfully aware of releasing and moving your fascia. But a lot of people have not had that kind of body work.
I only had one experience with that, and that was many, many years ago. So I can't even relate.
Yeah.
Because I saw that in the reading, and I said, I remember where it was. I remember the person. I don't remember. I remember the pain, but I was in pain to begin with.
Yeah.
So anyway, I couldn't make that connection because once maybe 20 years ago doesn't.
Yeah.
Doesn't really.
Understandable.
Yeah, and I haven't had that experience of Rolfing at all.
Okay. How's your practice going?
Not so great this week. Just kind of other things interfering.
Life.
Life.
Yeah.
It does that now and then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been trying to be aware of it when I do the, especially number 2,
Uh-huh.
and I'm sort of aware of something going on.
Well, that's a good start.
Yeah.
So keep trying to be aware of the twisting of the fascia as you're practicing when you can. I'm actually going to take you into another feeling the energy moving practice, but it's focused on from the diaphragm down. So not the arms and upper body. So this can be something that you work on separately. So it's not the same thing to do an exercise or make a movement just by stretching your muscles. First of all, stretching the muscles can be done in a mindful or mindless fashion. And there are 3 or 4 different ways in which you could teach people how to do hatha yoga postures, for instance. The ones where you get your body to get to a point is kind of like the lowest level. And then there are the more sophisticated ones where you get to the high mountains, when you get to the high mountains in the Himalayas. But still, you have to understand what you're trying to do when you're stretching. So here with Gods, what we're focusing on is not stretching. We're focusing on lengthening. So that is having the nerves inside the body release the tissue so that they naturally release and extend, not that we push the fibers of the body to stretch. When we are what we are after is chi circulation, not gymnastic postures. So we worked on feeling and releasing the fascia in the arms because that's what your intent is going to try and get your chi to, that's how your intent is going to try and get your chi to travel along through your body. And you want to have the fascia twisting and changing direction at the appropriate points, which is about having your chi reach the crown of your head and to your feet. So as you do this more and more, you will get how to make these transitions seamless. You want to have no sense of stopping and starting. It's continuous because chi continuously circulates in your body. And what you're trying to do with all your movements is mimic the way the chi naturally moves. Chi doesn't go to a certain point, stop, hang out for a while, and then start up again. What we're doing is mimicking what the body does naturally and doing it in a specific way so we can increase the functioning of what the body is designed to do naturally. What we need to consider here is that your chi wants to go through your body as a whole. Right now, let's leave the channels out of it and talk about your body as one whole piece. You want to have a very clear sense that every time you do a movement, your energy goes from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, and from the bottom of your feet through your body to the top of your head. So the first thing that we're going to do, and you can just watch me for a moment, is just change the camera, David. No, not get rid of it.
Pressing buttons, pressing buttons.
As we were talking earlier, technology. So what we're going to do is just very simply, with actually a very small movement of the arms, but with using the folding of the qua and just letting the arms rise a little and sink a little with the bending of your qua. And what you're trying to do here is feel the energy move from the diaphragm all the way down through your qua and legs to your feet, and from the feet back up to the diaphragm. And the movement of the arms is very small. It doesn't need to be a big movement. Okay? So just play with that for a minute and see if you can begin to get a sense of the energy moving through the lower body. So as you're doing this, try to be aware of where the energy does not go through. You don't have to do anything about it at the moment, but just be aware, if you are, of any place where it blocks. Okay, so relax for a minute. So what could you feel with that?
Well, I can feel the energy going up and down my legs.
Uh-huh.
Occasionally it seemed to skip a spot, but I can't say that there was any one place where there seemed to be a blockage in my legs anyway.
Okay.
Not so sure I can feel it specifically, just saying, ah, there it is, different from something, any other movement. So I'm not sure I can. I can identify saying that I feel it.
Okay. Well, that's all right. This will come. So I'm going to talk you through actually all 6 movements, but we're going to really limit the arms. So the arms are not really going to move very much. They're not going to do the complete movements because our focus is not the energy in the arms and the upper body. It's focusing on the energy moving from the diaphragm down and back up to the diaphragm. So while you're thinking in terms of doing the 6 movements, and I'll tell you when to change from one to another, you're really just focusing on moving the energy from the diaphragm down and back up. So the arm movement, very small. So just so maybe you have an idea of what I mean. So if you're doing movement 1, for instance, your arms, there is this sense of what the arms do normally, but it's very small and it's not complete because the focus is not what the arms are doing at all. They're just there to respond to the movement of the lower body. When you go, for instance, to movement 2, the hands don't even have to cross. There can be practically no movement of the hands. That's not, they're just, we're gonna make the hands unimportant in this practice because we want to keep the focus on the lower body. And while it's good to feel the movement of the energy in your legs, clearly you want to have it move through the qua and on up to the height of the perineum, or past the perineum to the diaphragm. So don't worry about what your arms are doing. So start with this version of movement 1. So the body is moving, but the arms are not doing very much. So even though it's very small, the movement of your arms is just as it usually is. Going up as you straighten and sinking as you sink down. But can you get your energy up to your diaphragm? And then getting it to go down through everything, through your body and down to your feet. If it helps you to align it with your inhale and exhale, that's fine. If you don't need to, that's fine too. You're just trying to get your chi to move up and down without getting stuck. If you are aware of it getting stuck, just recognize where it is. You don't have to do anything about it. Just catalog it. Everything we've been working on up to this point is all for one purpose: to have the chi be unstuck, to have what is stuck to release so you can have a flow. You have to recognize it before you can do something with it. Otherwise, you can miss it. Just want to see, with a small arm movement, can you get the chi to go through or not? Once you start to get this chi movement, you can do this even sitting down. So you can check with your hands, is your chi getting stuck while you're working? And if you do that 5, 10, 15 times a day, you can correct your body. You can stop the downward spiral. And because once your body starts shutting down, it will rapidly increase through the day. The more you can recognize what you are shutting down, and then you can open it up, the easier your day can be. And you'll have a little happier day when your work day is over. Now go to movement 2. Same thing. When you bend forward, we're going to take the chi from the height of your diaphragm and bring it down your body clearly until it's in your feet. And when you come up, clearly bringing the chi up. When you have pain in your body, if you can make your energy go through it, the pain will get less. And if the place where the chi is blocking in your body gets worse, your pain will normally increase. It's not quite that simple. If you have pain, your chi is not flowing or it's blocked. And if your chi is flowing and not blocked, you don't get pain or disease. So it really is a very simple formula. So in God's, you have to get this chi to go through your body. And you have to get it to come back up. It's an issue of sensitivity. If you're able, you can stop moving your hands or do very, very little movement of them. You want to focus just on what's happening inside your body. Because when you move your hands, it becomes more difficult to notice that. The first thing is a sense of whether you've got a flow or not. And now go into movement 3 with no arm movements at all. Just do your clock positions and turn your body. But notice as you go down and you bend forward, is your chi moving from your diaphragm down to your feet? And when you shoot the arrow, is that chi going up from your feet to your diaphragm? Where is it moving? Where is it getting stuck? You want to focus on what the motion is supposed to be doing inside you. And actually focus on what the motion is doing inside you. This is the Qigong way. You can see physical movement. You can't see the Qi moving inside you, but you can feel it. This is the big difference between internal movement and external movement. Internal movement is feeling what is happening inside of you. What is your body actually doing? Qigong isn't all about what your body is doing and making it function better. As you're doing your circle, when you're moving downward, is your chi going to your feet? Is it moving? Is it getting stuck? Is it open? How do you get to where you can recognize it with very little effort? You need to do it so that the contrast is clear. And now go into movement 4. Perhaps moving your hands a little bit will help you, but don't actually move your arms a lot. I want you to feel if the chi is moving through your body. Right now, we're only going to the diaphragm. Focusing on the torso and legs. Is the chi between your lower and your middle burner integrating or not? Is it opening up or not? And this awareness inside your body is very important. When you sit at a desk or work on a project for long periods of times, because the object is to damage your body the least when you work, not damage it and then try afterwards to fix it. Don't let the barn door open and you won't have to spend as much energy running after the cow and dragging it back to the barn. And now go to movement 5. And remember, you're not moving as much because you're condensing first. Closing and opening your qua. So notice and recognize, where are you blocking or not blocking on the way down and on the way up. Feel the energy moving from your feet up to your diaphragm, and from your diaphragm down to your feet. And then flow into movement 6. There are 8 primary energy flows in Qigong, just as there are in the Qigong, I Ching. 8 ways that all things happen. In the way you approach Tai Chi, Qigong, sexual practices, yoga, any Taoist energy work. And we're not focusing on all of those at the moment, but this will give you an idea. If there is forward, there is simultaneously back. If there's up, there is down. And whether it happens simultaneously or sequentially, one follows the other. There's left, there's right. If there's inside, there's outside. And if there's outside, there's inside. And right now, you're playing with up and down. And whenever you like, you can close. And you can sit down. So did that help you to feel that flow?
I can feel in the legs. I think up to the dantian, but I'm not feeling up into the diaphragm. And in fact, there almost seems to be a pressure there.
Where?
That's probably the diaphragm,
Mm-hmm.
probably where the blockage is.
Well, that could be. So what that sounds to me is that it could very well be that you're not keeping the midriff open. So
I did try changing my posture because I did in the beginning. I was collapsing. I could feel that. I don't think there was an improvement, but it's still, I'm not feeling any energy coming up higher than the dantian.
well, that's certainly good for now. I think as you continue to practice, you can open up the rest of that flow, because you don't want it to block in the middle of the torso.
No.
Not a good thing. Carol?
This may just be an off day. I'm not, I mean, something's going on, but clearly, but it's not something that I can identify as oh yeah, oh yeah, there's the chi moving. I can tell it's purple today.
Oh, I like it.
I may work on that.
It's an interesting concept. Well, does the chi have color? Well, I think.
So,
oh, go ahead.
well, I mean, I like things that focus on the legs because we do so much focusing on the arms that so.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're doing this practice, but I can't say that I'm feeling tingles of chi going up and down my legs or anything like that.
Well, when you, as represented by the two of you, everybody's different. And that's not a judgment or one is better than the other. It's just Shelley is lucky because she's feeling a little more in her legs than you are at the moment, but that doesn't mean you can't. And I agree. I liked this practice when we came to it because of its focus in the lower body, because we do focus so much on the arms and the upper body because it's easier, and we certainly that's clearly intentional. Better to work on the easy than first and get some success than to work on the hard and not get any success at all anywhere. So play with it.
I can definitely see how it would be really useful because when I'm sitting at my computer, my feet, especially my right foot, starts hurting. And I'm just sitting in a chair. And
Yep.
it starts. So if I can do something to prevent that from happening, that would be good.
Yes, it would. So this is a useful thing because it's something you can do without, you really don't even have to have body movement. You can eventually do it just with your intent. So, but when you're not concerned about anyone thinking that you're crazy, you can sit there or stand there and move your arms a little bit, move your body a little bit. It doesn't have to be big. It can be a small amount. And yeah, this can be a very useful tool. So any other questions or thoughts here? Okay.
Just sitting here, kind of focusing while I'm sitting is almost easier to feel than with the movement.
Uh-huh.
That with the movement, I'm okay. Am I bending my quad too much? Am I, there's this, and with my arms not moving, my shoulders start hurting. And so, my arms don't want to be more or less not moving at all for long periods of time.
Do your shoulders get tense when they don't move?
Well, it gets achy.
Uh-huh.
So I suppose it's a tenseness.
Yeah.
And when we went to do the closing, I didn't even try to do our full closing because I had the sense that my right arm was not going to move that way.
Yeah, that's fine.
So,
Since you find it positive, you might actually try doing this seated.
Mhm.
It's absolutely can be done that way, and maybe that would be a good way for you to start.
Yeah.
So good. So clearly, we also want this to be happening in our Tai Chi, although we don't have to worry about that very much right at the moment. But do either of you have any Tai Chi questions?
Nothing came up.
Good.
No, I did Sancho both sides this week,
Yay, I didn't.
and it worked really amazingly well.
Yay, it's there.
It's there, yes.
Good for you, Carol. That's great.
Yeah, I was a little leery, but I did one day and did B the first day and then A the next. Just didn't want to push my luck.
Right. Good.
I
Well,
haven't done it in a couple of weeks, but I've been trying to do it.
you two are going to have to get together.
Yeah, we will, I think.
Yeah, well,
I miss that.
we have this room here.
Yeah.
You want to come over sometime?
Good. So, have you done any more practicing without the arms?
On the form?
Mm-hmm.
Not lately.
No.
Was doing a little more of the trying to be intense, be conscious of the compression.
Oh, good.
Yep. Yeah, I've been so scattered over the last few weeks that not having the arms was a crutch I could not do without.
Well, I only think of that in relation to the practice we just did.
Yeah.
That you might, not all the time by any means, but if you have a day when you're feeling like working on the lower body energy movement, do both. Do the what we just did, and then try a little bit of the form, trying to see if you can get the energy to move through the legs and the form. Or at least be aware of it. You know it's moving.
Yeah. And in some ways, I think I'm more aware of it in the form.
Uh-huh. Good.
Than just standing here thinking about whether or not my quad is moving right.
Maybe you're being a little too judgmental on yourself.
Oh, me?
Oh, not you, Carol.
Oh, well.
Oh,
Somehow
well.
I think beating ourselves up is also some of our martial arts practice.
Well, you have to learn to let go of that.
Some
It does,
days easier than others.
it does get in the way.
Oh, yeah.
So why don't you do a flow of the form? And just be aware whenever you can if there is movement of the energy in the lower body. You know there is, but can you feel it? And can you encourage it?
I will be doing it to the side because I did it facing this direction this morning and it was an abysmal failure.
I see. Okay.
It was not pretty at all.
I think I can do it this way.
Shelley, you can do it in any way you like.
I would just like to be able to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to trust it. You know, I could probably do it and it would be fine, but I'm not going to chance it.
Okay. Nice. You know, one thing that would be, I think, good to remember is that we want the elbow always to be at least no more than 45 degrees away from the earth. So, for instance, it's very easy when you arrived at G, that when you go in to follow, that the elbows can go out too much. And that's going to interfere with the energy that you would like to have there. So you have to have a sense of, while everything's circling, but you're still keeping the elbows down or towards the earth. That also particularly shows up in White Goose and in Fair Lady. So when you go up here to a deflect up, you don't want the elbow to be up, you want the elbow to be down. it's very easy to get into flipping the elbow up. So just as you go through your form, try to focus a little bit of your attention on that and keeping the elbow down, because it does affect how the scapula move, how the energy moves through the arms. The other thing, don't lose the difference as you as you go into grasping the sparrow's tail of the pung movement. The arms are separated. The hand on the forward foot side is slightly higher than the other, and then they resolve to the same height as you complete that movement. That was not consistent. And the other one I wanted to look at is play peepaw. So once you've arrived at single whip and you shift and you touch, and notice that position when the toe touches, your body's turned a little left, the right hand has come to beside the right thigh with the elbow lifted, and the left is deflecting in. And then as you rotate left and step forward, the arms position so that as you rotate and shift, they separate and rotate into that palm downward position. So a couple of thoughts there.
Let's not play peepaw, is it?
Not play peepaw, lift hand. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Okay. I was a little confused, but
You knew what it was.
Well, when you started doing it.
I wonder sometimes if you heard it right.
To play peepaw out of.
I know. I was thinking, wow, that's interesting. I must have missed something.
You did. No, my verbal error.
Okay.
So, any questions about any of that?
I don't think so.
Good.
Yeah, just paying attention to the leg, and the form is much more obvious that sometimes it's going, one leg is going up and the other leg is going down.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Absolutely.
I think it helps that a little more familiar with the form than with God's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, there's 100+ postures where you can tune into that now and then.
Yes. Good. Well, have fun playing with all of that.
Yes.
We will.
We will.
And
Thank you.
I'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you, David.
Thank you. I'm glad you didn't drive today. I think this was the safe thing to do.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad at all out now, but we'd have had to scrape whichever one of us, this car was over there. Scrape ice off it. Both of us rejected that because we're spoiled. We have garages.
Aha. That's good.
Yep.
I envy you that.
Yeah, it's really nice. Although Craig built a carport off our other house when we lived in Waterford, and that made a huge difference. I mean, you've still got some snow and frost and stuff, especially if the wind is blowing, but boy, it was so much nicer than having the entire car to clean.
Oh, good.
Okay,
All right.
well, take care. Have a good day, everybody.
Yes,
too.
indeed. Bye.
Bye.